Yeah, Sanbona, thanks for joining again kwi-YouTube channel. Lapho sikhuluma khona ngezihlobo ezihlukene ezithinta impilo. Sibonga kakhulu interaction lapha kwi-page MngadiMed. Ungakhohlwa ukuthi to like our page on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter that says MngadiMed. And then last week we had gotten some comments about some topics ekudinga ukuthi siwatouche lapha nalapha yana. Ngizocela ukuthi ngiqale my favorite topic by Dr. Precious Garnett, Cape Town, oyi-rep yaka-Sipla. Awuthena PrEP is under-talked. We need to put more emphasis on PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis with regards to HIV infections. So, we should talk a bit about the injectables PrEP laphayana. So, pre-exposure prophylaxis, prophylaxis means it's prevention, right? It's something you take to prevent what ungabi nento. Pre-exposure means before you even go uyoba exposed, before ungene empini, then you prevent that. Should you be exposed, then you do not transmit. Post-exposure prophylaxis means that you have been exposed now, but you are preventing that you get a disease or infections. So in the case of the HIV, it's before you are exposed. This is recommended, for an example, for abantu, the serodiscordant couples. Abantu or partner abathandanayo kodwa omunye e-positive, omunye e-negative, abazi ukuthi i-risk can exist. For example, they want to have ingane, then in order to have ingane, you need to take away a protection, a condom, for example. Then the other partner must be suppressed. Ngoba even na pre-exposure, when it comes to the risk to have a partner, the other partner who's HIV positive, suppressed, actually decrease the risk drastically, and that's what is recommended. So the other partner who tata PrEP unama options ukuthi angathathani. Siyazi ukuthi kudume kakhulu iTruvada, which was the combination of UTDF no FTC, right? Lokho bekwenza ukuthini, kwenza ukuthi uma ngabe uthatha leli drug ungakwazi ukuthi uconvert should you be exposed. For an example, let's say you are exposed sexually ngenxa yokuthi i-condom ibhastile. Uma ukuthi you have been using uTruvada for a month, uyabona noma ama-generic ke ka-Truvada wabantu bazothi nangu umngadi phela useyi-rep yaka-Truvada, yabona. Akhona maningi ama-generic angama-examples, uyabona, elokhuzana or izinto enjengabo-Amteveri, yabo izinto enjengalezo, ya. So if kuwukuthi uthatha leli philisi leli uyakwazi ukuthi uvikeleke. So uthi Dr. Garnett remind people about this interesting injectable that is coming. Ethathwa kanye every 6 weeks. So if uthi uyazi ukuthi we-risk, then you can just take this injection once every 6 weeks. Ibizwa ngani nge-cabotegravir. Cabotegravir is an integrase inhibitor. It's got a very strong genetic barrier, which means ukuthi drug is strong kakhulu ngoba siyazi ukuthi lezi zama-virus ziya-mutate. So yona iyakwazi ukuthi yenze njani i-interlock ngale ndlela ukuthi ingadevelop ama-mutations quickly. And then sizokhumbula ukuthi out of amanye ama-injectable that are coming, injectable ezothathwa for abantu abathatha ama-ARVs. Instead of taking one pill every day, then you can take it will be a combination of cabotegravir as well as ripivirine. Sizokhumbula ukuthi ripivirine NNRTI sekhumbula ukuthi ibisetshenziswa kakhulu kubantu abangafuni ukuthatha izinto enjengobostocrine edurant. So this one, it will be an injectable one, a smooth drug. So it will be injectable between 4 to 8 weeks. So you can imagine if you instead of taking one drug a day, then you just take one injection every 2 months. This means you're gonna go back to your doctor, to your hospital 6 times a month only. That is quite interesting. And then it will be so much of innovation. So those are the things to look up for. And then let's go to another writer who said, let me see who was it? Mngadi, Madlogovu lapho. Umadlogovu Mngadi said, wants to know more about bipolar mood disorders. Yazi mlalele ekhaya mangicabanga right because we've always focused on other mental disorders. We've talked about psychotic disorders, about schizophrenia, psychosis izinto enjengalezo. We spoke about mood disorder, but focusing especially on the depression. We've talked about anxiety disorders. We talk about panic attacks and a whole lot of other things, but we've never really talked about bipolar. And maybe because it's not as common as about depression, or maybe people have, sometimes it remains undiagnosed. So bipolar mood disorder is something that exists. For example, Jenna, you see someone one other moment or happy or hyper, things are going very well, and another moment is dull, thinking about killing themselves and crying. The other moment they're thinking about, Cape Town is this, or overseas is this, I want to have this, I want to buy this, life is amazing, makeup, everything. Another moment they're feeling they are depressed. So bipolar mood disorder means bipolar, which means which means that they have episodes of mania. Mania is when they are overly happy, right? With grandiosity, feelings of happiness, things like that. And then the other moment, they are severely depressed to a point where you can actually think these people are even thinking of killing themselves, feeling sad. I can't do this. Apathy, lack of interest to pleasurable ideas, even the things that actually fascinated someone. Eventually they turn they are no longer interesting. On the other moment, they are happy, they want to spend, they are very excited, being involved in risk behavior, taking loans, drinking, getting happy with strangers they do not know. It is a disease because it may end up, with problems. It can affect people's work. It can affect their finances. But type 1, they have really an episode where they feel very happy. And then they may have depressive or no depressive episode. Bipolar type 2, they have hypomania as well as they must have a depressive episode. How do we treat a bipolar patient? Now that you've established, hey, I did go to bipolar, and diagnose a whole lot of people in the community, hey, Lona, uhlale happy kanjena uthanda nje ubumnandi yena engazi ukuthi ngaba nje ebumnandini mhlawumbe kuyaphuzwa kunabangani everything we're gonna say this is a bipolar type 1. Okay, so kunama DSM-4 criteria where someone need to be put into a test do they have these features, and then does it affect their work. But if you think someone has a bipolar, they must go and get help, because they need to get the mood stabilizers. Just to remind you a bit about depression. Do you remember depression? I think we must have spoken about it when we said these people, they feel really sad. At times they want to kill themselves. And they don't have episodes where they recover, until you give them maybe antidepressants. Can motivate them, but eventually, depression is a disease, just like bipolar is a disease as well. So, should you think your friend has bipolar, please contact me. Say at MngadiMed or go to Hopewell Siapila Mngadi on your Facebook. Thank you.